Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Tuesday market review. Pat here. Make sure you check out the socials in the link below. All links to join the Discord and check out my Twitter there. Currently long on BTC and short on ETH. Both trades were given in the Discord in real time. Yeah, depending when this video goes up, I mean, I'm gonna edit and upload it shortly after this, but this is the current Bitcoin position I'm in. Looking at potentially some mean reversion here, which I'll get into shortly, my reason. But yeah, if you are going to take this position, obviously manage your risk correctly with this invalidation. For me, it's under 111,930. But yeah, at the time of this video going up, I may be in good profit and I may also be stopped out. Hopefully not the latter. So yeah, Friday close back filled here on Bitcoin. I discussed these Friday or weekend gaps, so to speak, a lot. But what we have is since the Friday close on Bitcoin, which was obviously back here on Friday, we had a bit of a move up over the weekend, and we can see where the weekly opened. And then what happens is we form what I like to call is a weekend gap, or what people also call a CME gap. So the CME gap, the timing sits a little bit different. For me, the Friday close, the weekly open works really well. I really like using this because it has a very good hit rate. And from what I've seen, not many people use this Friday close, the weekly open, like so to speak. Even though there's not much difference in timing of the CME gap, it still is a little bit more of an edge to me because less people are using it, right? The more people that use something, the less edge that you have. So keep note on this. But yeah, overall, if the weekend forms a gap and we have a sort of spike up on the Monday, it's usually a good opportunity for a short targeting the Friday close. With that in mind, I took a short on ETH for the group. We took a short last night with this sort of low time frame 3 drive into this higher time frame level, and we took profit early this morning, down just over or just under 5% at this point. So yeah, if you want to get access to all my trades, you can check out the link to the social and to the Discord as well below, and I'm posting a lot of stuff on Twitter as well. Okay, let's discuss the market a bit. To be honest, I'm not too hopeful of like really good price action in August. I think we have a chance of chopping and doing something along the lines of this, right? So roughly looking at bottoming, you know, today. And if we can bottom into this 113k region, I'm pretty sure that we could bounce this week into like 117 to 118. Overall, we're flagging again on the daily, on the 4 hour, right? And these sort of flags are very common for Bitcoin. We can see July last year, we sort of spiked up, topped in July and bounced into August, right? And then we just sort of chopped until Q4 and eventually broke up, right? And we could sort of see a similar thing happening in here. Topped in July, bottomed into August, bounce a little bit, maybe sell off. And, you know, over time, maybe we form some sort of new range up here rather than just like this sort of like meme line. You know, flags aren't necessarily a good way of getting an outlook on the market, but you can see that, you know, we are consolidating, we are compressing, and we have done this over and over again for the past couple of years now before a breakout. And, you know, overall, despite my sort of midterm thoughts on the market, like from here to sort of the end of summer, I think we can chop. And my invalidation for a chop or the invalidation for the idea of just chopping for summer would be a breakout above 119k. If we can get a breakout above 119k, then I'm pretty sure we leg up going into September and into Q4. But overall, expecting much higher prices for Bitcoin in Q4, continuing to buy Bitcoin spot. Right now, I think we're trading around the current entry. So over time, if we do continue to sell off, that's perfect because I can fill and average my entry much lower. Talking about the DXY, still remains below the 99-100 area. I think I discussed this last week, but I said how important it was for us to reject this 99 to 100 area. Numbers came back last week pretty much in favor of risk assets. Looks like the Fed is, or at least there's talk of the Fed pivoting come September. So we'll see how things develop going into September. Overall, as long as the dollar remains below this 99 to 100 region, I expect it to continue to leg down into sort of November, October, December time, and where we can potentially see the dollar bottom and start to rally. But overall, I think we still have a good window of upside left on Bitcoin. You know, I've discussed it a lot in my higher time frame thoughts, but at least rallying into October, earliest seeing a cycle top. But if we pair it with the sort of the dollar and the prior 273-day trend that we've seen from the dollar, where Bitcoin ramped up into the cycle top, that sort of puts us into December. So October to December, looking at rallying into there. Dominance remains on support. As long as dominance remains on support and above this 60% region, Bitcoin is going to remain in control of the market. I think altcoins are going to suffer. We can see again altcoins bleeding out today. Moves just mean reverting. I still don't think this is a swing traders market. Look at taking your profits every day, take your day trades, lock in your profits and move on to the next one. I don't think there's much worth in holding trades right now, and continue to day trade and lock in those gains. Look at, you know, potentially changing that mindset into a fully risk on mindset. If we get that break under 60% from the dominance, Bitcoin dominance, with a good breakout from ETH, I think there's a good chance that we can see some outperformance from altcoins. But for now, as long as dominance remains on support and this 1,000-day trend remains completely intact, I wouldn't be going like full on risk on into the market, into spot right now on altcoins. You know, even though we have seen a considerable amount of downside, like 40% on SPX, we have like 50% on Bitcoin. Like these are good downside moves, but you know, there's nothing to say that they can't continue to trade lower. Just look at day trading them, sell the rips higher and get out, you know, until ETH confirms that it's going to break above this 2024 and 2021 value area high. I think this is kind of destined for lower, which is one of the main reasons I took my short. This area has been difficult for ETH 3 times already, and now trading into this area a 4th time. We have to think about the off chance that maybe if we do chop on Bitcoin for August, that ETH does bleed out back down towards like 32 to 3100. But depending how we react around this 2024 value area high and 2021 value area high over this week into next week, I think it's going to be very important, and it will set out the outlook and the path forward going into the end of summer and how the market is going to trade. So yeah, right now short on ETH. Pretty sure if we can't hold, like we're retesting support here, it's 2021 value area high and 2024 value area high. I'm fairly sure if we can't hold here, then this is probably like a little bit of a bull trap, and we trade back down to like 3200 to 3100, which is where I'll full TP my short. For a good breakout on ETH, it needs to get above 3700 and above this, like the value area highs that I just discussed. If ETH can get above 3700 over the next couple of weeks, good chance it's going to trade towards 4100, and then even as high as 4400, an all-time high. But a long way to go till we can flip this region. Wouldn't be surprised to see maybe just some more chop up here. Really depends on Bitcoin. So yeah, looking for some mean reversion here. If we look at the flow, quite a lot of shorts piling into the lows, chasing this move down, quite a lot of liquidations, and yeah, we did have some spot selling, right? And it sort of cooled off a little bit, and the spot bids started to pick up, which is when I took a long. But overall, yeah, some aggressive shorts entering on the futures side of things, which was one of the reasons I took my long. Quite a tight invalidation on this, to be honest, like just back down towards these lows. Like really, when we see quite hard and like fast aggression into the lows, then I like to look for some pretty quick mean reversion. So just run with a tight stop. In the off chance that we go back to target these, this single print from the CME open, and also the highs from today, we have the highs from today are really ugly, like poor high. But right now, yeah, in terms of our ETH short, it's looking really good. We've sort of rejected off this prior weekly value area low on Bitcoin, and wouldn't be surprised eventually to see us trade back down to like 110. But ideally, we pop higher first before rolling. You know, like I said, maybe towards 117 to 118. But overall, just look at day trading right now. Don't try and swing anything. I'm pretty sure August is going to be a fairly rough month in terms of trying to like swing stuff. Look at probably buying altcoins once dominance cools off, like I just said. SQD is a coin that's on my watch list right now for a breakout. If we can see some reclaim here on the lower time frame, I might look at a long targeting 1.9 and maybe even all the way to 2.4. Bitcoin, this did do a nice 4-hour like reclaim, but I'm not really a fan of these lows. But I am watching around this region for some triggers for a long. Bonk, looking for a fill towards 0.0222 for a position. I think overall that's quite a nice place for it to bottom into. If we're going to bottom on Bonk, that looks quite good. SPX kind of deviated this reclaim. I do think if we continue to bleed out this month, 132 for SPX looks like a really nice place to be a buyer. Anything back down towards 132, sub 1.4 looks like a good opportunity to be a buyer on SPX. Pengu is another coin, kind of bearish right now, bearish trend. A lot of altcoins put in bearish retests and sort of like bounced and put in bearish retests, which I don't think is something I necessarily want to try and bid just yet. Your best chance is waiting for a good shift in structure before considering a long on something like this. But other than that, I don't have too much to discuss today. I've kind of gone over my thoughts. I think I'm going on holiday on Wednesday, which might be a pretty good time to do so. I think August is going to be slow. And like I said, until we get that break above 119K, I'm going to keep in the back of my head that we're just going to chop for August. Historically is a pretty poor month for Bitcoin to trade and for returns in Bitcoin. But if anything, that's going to offer us a really good opportunity to scale into spot much lower over the next couple of weeks into the end of August and selling in September onwards. The M2 continues to rally, or at least has been continuing to rally. The 10-week lead looks good, so I think we can bounce at some point on Bitcoin. So that's everything for this week's market review. Bit of a scruffy one, I think, sort of whizzed through it, but my thoughts kind of clear and concreted for now, unless anything changes. Make sure you check out the socials in the link below, and I will see you guys tomorrow for a Charting from Blank episode, and then I'm on holiday, so catch you guys then. Bye bye.